Welcome to NFL Nexus, where we break down all the biggest stories in a league. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most shocking and, let's be honest, confusing deals of the entire NFL offseason. We're talking about the Atlanta Falcons betting the whole house on 35-year-old quarterback Kirk Cousins, only to then hedge that bet in the most dramatic way possible just a few weeks later. This is a massive, franchise-altering gamble with so many layers of complexity, and we are going to unpack every single one. If you enjoy this kind of in-depth analysis, you know what to do. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that like button. All right, let's get into it. So let me just ask you this question. How much would you be willing to bet on a quarterback who's going to be 36 years old when the season starts, coming off a torn Achilles he suffered just last October? $100? Maybe 1,000? Well, the Atlanta Falcons, they're betting a staggering $100 million in guaranteed money on Kirk Cousins. In this explainer, we're going to break down why this isn't just a big contract. It's one of the biggest, most polarizing gambles of the entire NFL offseason, with the careers of the front office and really the future of the entire franchise now hanging in the balance. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll set the stage by looking at the Falcons' desperate, long-running quarterback problem that kind of made this move feel necessary. Then, we'll get into the aggressive, high-stakes move GM Terry Fontenot made to land his guy. We'll break down the historic, record-shattering contract itself, explore the shocking ripple effect it had on the NFL draft, and finally, hear what some baffled NFL executives are saying about this whole thing. To really grasp why the Falcons would write a check this big, you first have to understand the absolute desperation they've been facing at the most important position in all of sports. And this isn't a new problem. It's a whole saga of instability that has plagued this team for years, ever since they traded away their franchise icon, Matt Ryan. They've been completely lost in the wilderness at quarterback. You know, this timeline right here, it just paints such a painful picture of the Falcons' recent history. This isn't just a list of names. It's a timeline of broken hopes and missed opportunities. Since moving on from Matty Ice, the Falcons have been stuck in quarterback purgatory. They brought in Marcus Mariota as a bridge quarterback. That fizzled out. Then they put their faith in a third-round pick, Desmond Ridder, an experiment that just ended in turnovers and disappointment, forcing Taylor Heineke into the game. This constant revolving door has been the defining feature of this roster for 2 whole seasons, a problem that the new leadership is desperately trying to solve. This history of failure, that's the essential context for the massive decisive swing they just took on Kirk Cousins. Now, heading into this offseason, Kirk Cousins was, without a doubt, the biggest prize in quarterback free agency, even with the injury. Before tearing his Achilles, he was playing at an MVP level for the Vikings, completing almost 70% of his passes with 18 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions. The Falcons, desperate for a veteran leader to unlock all their young offensive weapons, saw a golden opportunity. General Manager Terry Fontenot didn't just play his cards, he basically pushed his entire stock of chips right into the middle of the table to get him. A truly all-in bet. So how'd the Falcons pull this off? Well, it wasn't through some complex tag maneuver, but through a direct, overwhelming assault in free agency. Kirk Cousins was an unrestricted free agent, which just means any team with cap space could make him an offer. This gave Cousins and his agent immense leverage. The Falcons had to outbid everyone, including his old team, the Vikings, who really wanted him back. So to win, they basically had to make him an offer he just couldn't refuse. This wasn't some strategic chess move, it was a brute force financial play, putting the Falcons in a spot where they had to pay a massive, market-setting premium to win the sweepstakes. And this, right here, perfectly illustrates the razor's edge the Falcons are now walking on. By committing so much guaranteed money to Cousins, they've created a whole new, high-stakes set of risks. I mean, the best-case scenario is that Cousins returns to his pre-injury top 10 quarterback form. He elevates young guys like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson and turns the Falcons into an immediate playoff team and a real NFC contender. But the worst case is an absolute nightmare. If that Achilles injury lingers or if his play just drops off because of age, the Falcons are stuck with a massive, unmovable contract that will cripple their ability to build out the rest of the roster for years. They have bet the franchise's financial flexibility on one player's health. In the end, the Falcons' aggressive push in free agency paid off, and they landed their quarterback, but it came at a staggering cost. The leverage Cousins held as the top free agent, combined with the Falcons' obvious desperation, resulted in a contract that shattered records for a player of his age and sent shockwaves through the league. Let's break down these breathtaking numbers. Let's start with the headline number, the total value. The 4-year deal comes in at a whopping $180 million. That's an average of $45 million per season. Now, just to put that into perspective, that average salary makes him one of the top 5 highest paid quarterbacks in the entire NFL. And he's getting it at 35 years old while rehabbing a catastrophic lower body injury. It is a massive number just to get in the door. But here's the number that really tells the story, the one that truly matters in the NFL. $100 million. And that's not the total potential value. That's the amount of money that is fully guaranteed. This isn't about incentives or maybes or hitting certain benchmarks. Nope. The Atlanta Falcons are on the hook for $100 million regardless of how he plays or if he stays healthy. That figure represents the true financial risk and commitment. It is the absolute core of this massive gamble. And let's just dig into those guarantees for a moment, because this is the crucial point that shows how the deal is structured. So how do you get to $100 million guaranteed? Well, it starts with a massive $50 million signing bonus. That's immediate cash right in his pocket. On top of that, his entire base salary for 2024, which is $12.5 million, is fully guaranteed. And his 2025 salary of $27.5 million is also fully guaranteed. You add in a $10 million option bonus for 2025, and you have an incredible amount of security for the player, locking the Falcons into this partnership for at least 2 full seasons, no matter what happens. So when you put it all together, this contract is truly historic. I mean, in terms of average annual value and, more importantly, the sheer amount of cash guaranteed at signing for a player of his age and injury status, it is virtually unprecedented. It's a mind-boggling amount of money that effectively resets the market for high-end veteran quarterbacks and just shows the absolute premium the Falcons were willing to pay to solve their problem. The NFL has a hard salary cap. You can't just go around writing blank checks. So when you commit this kind of money to one player, it's like dropping a boulder in a pond. The ripples are felt immediately across the entire roster and, as we would soon find out, across the team's entire philosophy. Difficult and, in this case, shocking choices have to be made. And here are those ripples. The most significant, most baffling consequence came less than 2 months later, during the NFL draft. Despite committing $100 million guaranteed to Kirk Cousins, the Falcons used the number 8 overall pick on another quarterback, Michael Penix Jr. from Washington. I mean, this move sent an absolute shockwave through the league. It created an incredibly awkward and expensive quarterback room, and it publicly blindsided their new franchise player. You're now paying a premium for both your present and your future, tying up monumental resources in one position and effectively starting the clock on your massive free agent signing before he's even played a single down for you. So the Falcons got their guy. They secured Kirk Cousins. But the way they did it, paying a massive premium and then immediately drafting his potential replacement with a top 10 pick, has drawn sharp and widespread criticism from front office personnel all around the league. Other teams are looking at Atlanta not just with disagreement, but with genuine confusion. This quote from one longtime NFL personnel executive, it just perfectly captures the confusion that a lot of people felt. Now, he does mention the wrong GM name here, but the sentiment is the point. It's not just a friendly disagreement on strategy. This is pure bewilderment. He's basically saying that from his perspective, the Falcons' entire process, paying Cousins that much and then drafting Penix, seems illogical and fundamentally flawed. He couldn't make any sense of the sequence of moves or the intended endgame. So the crucial point of the criticism is all about asset management and maximizing a win-now window. This is the alternate strategy that critics believe the Falcons should have followed. Step 1, sign Kirk Cousins to the massive deal. He fills your immediate desperate need for a veteran quarterback. Fine. But step 2, use that valuable 8th overall pick to help him win now. Draft a blue-chip offensive lineman to protect your $180 million investment. Draft a dynamic pass rusher like Dallas Turner to fix your defense. By drafting Penix, they used a premium asset on a player who, ideally, won't even see the field for 2 or 3 years. The argument is that the Falcons failed to maximize their Super Bowl window with Cousins and created this messy, expensive situation for no clear reason. And this second quote, man, it's even more damning. This executive isn't just questioning the strategy, he's questioning the GM's job security. When you hear phrases like running its course, that's front office code for he is on the hot seat. After several years of failing to solve the quarterback position, this incredibly risky, two-pronged gamble on both Cousins and Penix has put immense pressure on general manager Terry Fontenot. The feeling around the league is that his tenure in Atlanta could be nearing its end if this huge, confusing bet doesn't pay off with a deep playoff run, and soon. So that's where we stand. The Atlanta Falcons have finally, decisively picked their quarterback for today. They have pushed all their chips in on Kirk Cousins, all while his apparent successor is looking over his shoulder. The futures of general manager Terry Fontenot and new head coach Raheem Morris are now directly tied to the health of Cousins' Achilles tendon. He can't just be good, he has to be great. He needs to elevate this franchise, end a 6-year playoff drought, and justify not only his historic contract, but the bizarre drafting decision that followed it. And that's all for this explainer. It's a massive gamble with franchise-altering stakes. So what do you think of the Falcons' moves? Is it a 40 chess stroke of genius, or just a colossal, nonsensical blunder? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And to help support the channel, please subscribe and give this video a like. It really helps us bring you more content like this. And for any fans out there, young or old, check out our custom coloring books. They're perfect of kids, grandkids, and adults too. You can find them using the link in the description or by scanning the QR code on your screen right now. Thanks for watching NFL Nexus.